Survival is a skill set that can make the ultimate difference when disaster strikes and the world as we know it changes in an instant. Whether facing a natural disaster, a collapse of societal systems, or an unexpected emergency, knowing how to prioritize and act is crucial to making it through. This is where the 6 S's of survival come into play. These are the fundamental pillars that can guide you in dangerous and unpredictable situations, ensuring that you remain focused and effective when every decision counts. Mastering these 6 principles could very well be the key to staying alive when SHTF. Join us on this journey and gain the knowledge to stay prepared no matter what happens. Don't miss out on more survival tips and strategies. Subscribe now and be part of a community committed to readiness and resilience. 1. Shelter, the first pillar of survival. You can't afford to screw up. When the world hits the fan, the clock starts ticking on your survival. If you can't secure proper shelter, your chances of making it plummet fast. Why? Because the elements don't care about your plans. Rain, cold, heat, and everything in between can kill you faster than hunger or thirst. Shelter is your first line of defense, plain and simple. Without it, you're toast. Why shelter matters. Shelter keeps you alive by protecting you from harsh weather. Hypothermia can set in with shocking speed if you're exposed to cold and wet conditions. Heat exhaustion or heat stroke can do the same in extreme temperatures. Your shelter's job is to give you warmth, keep you dry, and provide a space to rest and regroup. It doesn't need to be glamorous, it just needs to work. No shelter, your body becomes a punching bag for Mother Nature, and trust me, she hits hard. Types of shelter. What you can use for shelter depends on where you are. Urban environments offer buildings, abandoned cars, or anything with a roof and 4 walls. If you're in the middle of nowhere, think barns, sheds, or any man-made structure you can repurpose. In the wilderness, you'll need to get creative. Use what's around you. Large trees, rock formations, or even snowbanks can act as a base. Build from there using branches, leaves, or other resources to insulate and strengthen your hideout. If you're serious about survival, adaptability is not optional. Key considerations for a functional shelter. First, insulation. Your shelter isn't worth squat if it doesn't lock in body heat. Grass, leaves, clothing, or anything fluffy and dry can trap warmth. Pack it into your shelter like your life depends on it, because it does. Second, fire. A well-placed fire outside your shelter provides heat, light, and a way to purify water or cook food. However, fires can also attract attention. If staying hidden is critical, skip the bonfire and learn to blend your shelter into its surroundings. This leads to the third essential factor, camouflage. The goal is to avoid detection, whether from wildlife or unfriendly humans. Use natural colors and materials to make your shelter part of the scenery. Shelter is survival. You can last weeks without food and days without water, but exposure can kill you in hours. Shelter isn't optional, it's vital. Get it wrong, and you'll quickly learn how brutal the world can be. Don't prioritize shelter, and you'll fail. Simple as that. 2. Sustenance. Eat, drink, or die. If you can't keep yourself fed and hydrated, you won't make it. End of story. Sustenance isn't a nice-to-have thing, it's a must-have. Calories fuel your body and mind, and clean water keeps you functioning. You can't bargain with biology. If you don't get sustenance right, you're not surviving anything. Why? Sustenance is non-negotiable. Your body needs food and water like a car needs fuel. Without calories, your energy tanks. You can kiss critical thinking and physical stamina goodbye. Start rationing meals and you'll quickly see how hunger eats away at your mental clarity and judgment. Water? Even worse. Go without it for just a few days, and you're done. Dehydration wrecks your organs and shuts you down fast. Sustenance is survival. Ignore this basic fact, and you're toast. Food management. When it comes to food, you need a plan, or better yet, 2 or 3. Start with storage. Creating a stockpile is the first move, but don't just shovel stuff on a shelf. Rotate your supplies so nothing expires. Vacuum seal, freeze dry, and can whatever you can. The last thing you need in a crisis is wasted calories because you didn't check an expiration date. Rationing is your next challenge. Maybe you've got a pantry full of long-term food, but it's not infinite. Break bad habits now. There's no room for second helpings or impulsively eating survival snacks. Calculate your portions and stick to them. Hungry? Too bad. The goal is staying alive, not satisfying cravings. Then there's production. If things take a long-term turn for the worse, that stockpile won't carry you forever. Learn to hunt, fish, and forage. Don't know what plants are edible? Figure it out. Better yet, grow your own food. Gardening isn't just for suburban hobbyists, it's a lifeline. You eat what you produce or you go hungry. Water isn't optional. Now for water. You'll die even faster without it. Start with storage. A few gallons in your kitchen won't cut it. Get serious. Store large quantities in food-grade containers and purify any water you collect. Then get to work identifying reliable water sources. Streams, wells, rain, even dehumidifiers can be tapped. Just always assume water is dirty until you know otherwise. Filtration and purification aren't luxuries, they're survival necessities. Think long-term. Sustenance is more than slapping together a stash of canned beans and bottled water. You need a system. Food storage, water access, and long-term production should all work together to ensure sustainability. Build those systems now, or when SHTF, you'll realize too late that you blew it. Stay fed, stay hydrated, survive. That's the rule. 3. Safety. Stay alive or get wiped out. When it comes to survival, staying safe isn't just important, it's everything. Injuries and illnesses don't wait for the perfect moment to strike. They hit you when your guard's down, and in a survival situation, one wrong move can be the end of the line. Safety means staying uninjured, healthy, and sharp enough to face whatever's coming. If you're careless, reckless, or just plain stupid, you're not going to last. Why safety is non-negotiable. Forget about action hero stunts or pushing yourself to the brink. If you're sick, injured, or running on fumes, no amount of stored food or water will save you. Injuries and overexertion kill backup plans dead in their tracks. Hell, even a small infection can take you out if left unchecked. Survival is a brutal game where your only job is to keep yourself in one piece. Your health is your survival currency, so don't spend it recklessly. Get your first aid together. Basic first aid isn't optional, it's required knowledge. Look, you won't have time to Google how to stop bleeding or what to do for a broken bone when SHTF. You need to know this stuff ahead of time. Start with the basics. Disinfect wounds, stop the bleeding, treat burns, and manage fevers. These aren't advanced skills, they're essential. Stock a first aid kit and know each item inside it. Bandages, antiseptics, painkillers, tweezers, splints, and gloves should be your bare minimum. When hospitals and doctors are out of reach, you're your own medic. Mess this up, and the simplest injury could be your downfall. Prevention is a lifesaver. Want the best way to avoid injuries? Stop them before they happen. Be mindful of your surroundings. That slick rock, that unstable branch, that rusty nail underfoot, all screaming accidents waiting to happen. Wear gloves, armor up with sturdy boots, and don't try to be a hero by hauling too much. A single mistake in the middle of nowhere could cost you everything. And don't underestimate pacing yourself. Overdoing it isn't impressive, it's idiotic. Exhaustion slows you down, makes you careless, and sets the stage for disaster. Take breaks, hydrate, and don't risk burning yourself out. Don't forget your mental health. Survival isn't just about brute force and grit. Your mind plays a huge role. Stress, fear, and hopelessness can paralyze you when action is most critical. Learn to manage anxiety and stay focused. Whether it's through breathing exercises or plain stubbornness, keep your head in the game. A strong mind is just as important as a strong body, maybe more so. Stay safe, or stay dead. Safety isn't negotiable. Being careless, overconfident, or clueless only makes you a liability to yourself. Stay healthy, avoid injuries, and keep your wits sharp. Survival demands it. Fail at safety, and survival won't even be in the cards. Simple as that. 4. Sanitation. Get filthy and you're dead. If you think skipping hygiene is no big deal when everything goes down, think again. Poor sanitation doesn't just make you uncomfortable, it kills you, fast. Diseases like cholera, typhoid, and dysentery thrive when hygiene takes a back seat, and once they hit, they cut you down like a scythe. Cleanliness isn't a luxury in survival situations, it's a matter of life and death. If you want to make it, you better take sanitation seriously. The cost of poor sanitation, dirty hands, piled up waste, and lousy hygiene don't just make you stink, they attract diseases and pests that can wipe you out. What's worse, these things aren't subtle. Getting sick from contaminated food or water could sideline you when you can least afford it. Forget about toughing it out. Survival is hard enough without preventable illnesses taking you down. Sanitation is basic, but it keeps you in fighting shape. Waste management is non-negotiable. There's no polite way to say this. Human waste can be lethal. If you're not handling it properly, you're creating the perfect breeding ground for deadly bacteria. Designate a latrine area far from your living quarters and water sources. Keep waste covered with soil to control the smell and prevent flies from turning it into a biohazard buffet. You might not like digging holes for your bathroom breaks, but you'll like dying from infection even less. Keep it clean, literally. Clothes full of sweat and grime don't just reek, they trap bacteria and irritate your skin. If you don't stay on top of laundry, you're inviting rashes, infections, and fungal problems to the party. Wash your clothes by hand, scrub them with soap, and rinse them in clean water. Lay them out in bright sunlight to dry, because UV rays are nature's sanitizer. Neglect this, and you'd better get used to feeling miserable in your own skin. Prevent disease before it starts. Here's the simplest thing you can do to save your own life in a SHTF scenario. Wash your hands. Doesn't sound heroic, does it? Too bad. It's critical. Use water, soap, or even hand sanitizer regularly, especially after handling waste or before eating. Keep disinfectants and hygiene products handy, because once illness sets in, it's too late to wish you'd been cleaner. Don't invite the pests. Rats, flies, and mosquitoes are more than annoying. They deliver death in tiny packages. Keep your living space clean and sealed. Get rid of trash, cover food stores, and don't give these pests a reason to stick around. Nobody survives long when they're swatting at disease carriers all day. Stay clean or get buried. Sanitation might not seem like a top priority survival skill, but you'd be dead wrong. Ignorance isn't an excuse for poor hygiene. Stay clean. Manage waste. Keep disease and pests at bay. Because if you don't, you're looking at a one-way ticket to the graveyard. 5. Security, stay hidden, stay safe, stay alive. When things go sideways, security isn't just about locking your doors or holding a weapon. It's about staying smart, unseen, and untouched. The harsh reality? People get desperate when resources run out, and if you're not prepared, you'll become a target. Your survival could depend on how invisible and underestimated you are. Don't screw this up. Security isn't optional. It's survival. Why? Security matters. Without it, you lose everything. Period. Your supplies, shelter, and even your life can be taken in an instant if you're not prepared to protect them. Security is about more than just putting up a fight. It's about avoiding direct threats altogether. The less people know about you and your resources, the safer you'll be. Think of yourself as a ghost. Be unseen, be unheard, and don't make yourself a target. Passive defense keeps you safer. The best fight is the one you don't get into. Keep your location low-key and unattractive. This means blending into your surroundings and not advertising what you have. No flashy lights, no smoke signals, no loud noises. Camouflage your shelter, keep your movements subtle, and avoid broadcasting your presence. If your place looks like it's not worth the trouble, most threats will move on. Be a shadow, not a neon sign. Active defense isn't for the weak. While staying invisible should be your first line of defense, sometimes threats will come knocking. When they do, your shelter needs to be more than just 4 walls. Reinforce doors and windows, create barriers, and make sure your perimeter is solid. Basic deterrents like fences, tripwires, or even thorny plants can make a world of difference. But here's the hard truth. You need to be ready to fight if it comes to it. This isn't a time for ideals or hesitation. Arm yourself, know how to use your weapons, and have them close at hand. Whether it's a firearm, a bow, or something as simple as a bat, be prepared to defend what's yours. Early warning equals early action. Spotting trouble before it arrives gives you the advantage. Early warning systems can save your life. If you're high-tech, use cameras or motion sensors. If you're low-tech, go old school with strings of cans or tripwires. The goal is simple. Know they're coming before they know you're there. React fast or face the consequences. Don't draw attention. Surviving doesn't mean winning a popularity contest. Keep your head down, your operations quiet, and your resources hidden. The less other people know about what you've got, the less likely they are to come after it. Act like you've got nothing, even if your storage is fully stocked. If you look like an easy mark, you won't last long. Your security, your survival. Security is about strategy, strength, and smarts. Stay hidden when you can, fight when you must, and always be one step ahead of the threat. Because in survival, there are no second chances. Get it right or get wiped out. Your choice. 6. Strategy. Plan, adapt, or perish. If you think you can just wing it when everything goes to hell, you're already dead. Survival isn't about luck. It's not about who's the strongest or has the biggest stash. It's about who's got the best plan and the guts to change it when things go sideways. Strategy is the glue that holds everything together. Without it, you're just fumbling in the dark. and the only thing waiting for you is failure. Why strategy is your survival lifeline? Strategy is what keeps you ahead of the game. It ties together everything you've prepped for, from food and shelter to safety and security. It gives direction to your actions, so you're not wasting time or resources on dumb mistakes. Survival isn't just about living one more day, it's about making smart decisions every step of the way. A solid strategy separates survivors from statistics. Period. Plan or fail. You need a plan, not just one, but several. Always assume your first plan will fail because it probably will. Have contingencies for every scenario. Your primary evacuation route blocked? Know the back roads or footpaths. Supplies running low? Have a bartering stockpile ready. It's all about thinking ahead. If you wait until disaster strikes to make decisions, you've already lost. This isn't just about hope for the best scenarios either. Planning shines in chaos. If a mob's moving toward your shelter, you should already know how to slip out unnoticed. If your bug-out location is compromised, your backup plan should already be in motion. Survival demands forethought, so spend today planning for tomorrow's disaster. Trust me, you don't want to be caught flat-footed. Adapt or die. Here's a brutal truth for you. Plans fall apart. When they do, it's adaptability that will save your life. You need to pivot, quickly. Think of strategy as a living, breathing thing that changes as your situation evolves. That might mean ditching your original plan and coming up with a solution on the fly. Your flexibility will be the difference between surviving and becoming someone else's cautionary tale. Proactive thinking gives you control, but you'll also need to react smartly when chaos erupts. Did your shelter get overrun? Move. Did your water source run dry? Find another. Keep your mind sharp and don't cling to a failing strategy just because it feels comforting. Survival waits for no one. Strategy is survival. Strategy isn't just a tool, it's your lifeline. It's as critical as food, water, and air. Fail to plan and you plan to fail. Build strategies that assume failure, adapt without hesitation, and take every scenario seriously. Because when the world collapses, you either outthink the chaos or get buried under it. Your move. Shelter, sustenance, safety, sanitation, security, and strategy. These 6 pillars aren't suggestions, they're survival essentials. Screw up on any one of them and you risk your life. They're interconnected like pieces of a puzzle. Shelter keeps you protected. Sustenance keeps you alive. Safety keeps you functional. Sanitation keeps you healthy. Security keeps you from being a target. Strategy ties it all together. Miss a piece and the whole system collapses. Your odds of surviving a disaster or collapse depend entirely on how well you master these 6 areas. You're not invincible, and winging it won't cut it. Take a hard look at your strengths and weaknesses. Are you stocked on food but clueless about self-defense? Start fixing your blind spots now. Can you plan but panic under pressure? Work on staying adaptable. Turn your weaknesses into strengths before it's too late. This isn't a drill. Master these pillars, not just 1 or 2, but all of them. Survival isn't about luck, it's about preparation. Be ready, or stop pretending you'll make it when SHTF. Evaluate, improve, and get serious, because when the time comes, only the prepared stay alive.